sitting kind of, oh, there we go, like that. So I have to move the camera around. Anyway, how are you doing? I have to say hi. Karl will come and join us in a minute. He has to pick out beer. So he has to go with whatever the hell's in the office because I not only forgot the gimbal, I forgot the beer. Anyway, but I did, and I forgot my mood blanket. I was going to show my mood blanket and I forgot. But I did get new yarn, and I did have that in the car. I just didn't actually have the blanket. So anyway, let me dump some stuff out on the table here so don't make too much noise later. There. Okay, so I chose brown. I didn't know what kind of moods I was going to have, but one thing I noticed on a day I didn't seem to have any mood swings that I know of. You have to ask Karl. I chose productive because then I actually did something that day or whatever. I wasn't too moody to work. So I chose brown as a color to show mood. I can show you the different colors. I was using Let Lopi, which is by Eastex. Wonderful yarn, Icelandic wool. I chose blue. It's a very dark blue for what do I call it? Unexpected events or things did not go quite as planned, like the roads get washed out or an avalanche or the pipes break or something like that. So I had dark blue for that. Then I had two different kind of reds. So I decided to use those for days of stress. So mostly it's brown that I have, but anyway, so there we go. Those for stress. Didn't matter which shade, I'm just using my leftovers. And Eastex Let Lopi was one of the things I knew I could always get more of because I knew I wasn't going to have enough. Then I had green. I think I have more than one green actually. The other one is almost a brown though, so I haven't used it yet. Green was for sick days or days I just couldn't get out of bed. That happens. We went with light blue, I think. I forgot what light blue was. Anyway, I forget what that's for, but we did something. Hey, yellowish, but it's actually an orange. This one we went for fun days. We did this for birthdays or fortune telling dumplings. That was a fun day. And they had two unused colors. Was the light gray and purple. This is actually a purple. It almost looks brown though. Maybe if I hold it up against a brown. There, now you can see it's purple. And these I haven't used yet either. If I run out of red, I guess this is going to be stress. I don't know. Okay, so the browns that I had were these. So there's one that's kind of a reddish brown, then there's like a medium brown, and then there's this dark chocolate brown. And this one, it was with all my Eastex yarn, but it has a slightly, it's almost the same. I can't see the difference, but it's a hair softer than everything else. I'm not convinced that this is Let Lopi, but it works. So I kept it in there. I wasn't going to rip back and use it. But this is all the brown I have left, and I am now up to February 14th on it. I have some catching up to do. I did catch up some, but at least I'm still in the hole. But anyway, so this is all the brown I have left. And there's a lot of days left in the year. So I had to order reinforcements. I went to a place called Ad Libris. It was probably the cheapest place I found. And then I only wanted to get 4 skeins, but then I'd have to pay shipping. That was more than 1 skein. So if I bought 6 skeins, then I wouldn't have to pay any shipping. So these are the colors I got. So this is a little bit of a lesson too in one thing. I really like the colors. It's happy, and I'm happy, and I'm using all kinds of stash yarn, so it doesn't really matter if it doesn't match as long as it's brown, although this is significantly lighter than the browns I've been using. But so if you wanted to make a project and you want to match, they will always tell you always get enough yarn in that dye lot for your own for your whole project, because this can happen. These are old. This is stash. At least these two are at least these two I know for sure are Eastex Let Lopi, but you can see they don't make these colors anymore. These are the only browns they had, so I got 2 of each color. And then I just recaked them so that they kind of fit better in my basket. But yeah, so I will never get that one again. I will never get that one again. These two could be the same color, but they're slightly different. Actually, I'm kind of curious about that now because inside I've got the paper. So this little one that I have left is, if you don't know about tags, to teach you. That is your color number there, And that is your dye lot number there. That's the batch that they dyed it with. And everybody who dyes will realize that the batches will never be 100% identical. Even if you use pretty much the exact same amounts, there's always going to be a slight shift. Could be temperature, could be anything. Anyway, so you always, if you're going to get enough for a project, you want to make sure you have enough of the color and enough of the batch. So that was this color, and the one I suspect is a newer version of that is, yeah, it is the exact same color. Okay, so there you go. They are both color 0867. So 0867, but they are not identical. I don't know if you can even see that from the YouTube, but that is because this one was done in this bath and this one was done in this bath. So they always tell you if you're going to get something to make a sweater or something and you don't want a color shift, get enough for the whole project. And if you don't have enough for the whole project and it's too late to do a damn thing about it, you can feather it in. So that's why I have begun using these before I run out of these. So I will start using mostly these with the browns, but every once in a while I'll stick an old color in there to kind of have it carry through, but it will eventually peter out, and this will be mostly January and February featured brown. It's a little lesson. There you go. Dye lots and bath numbers, color numbers and bath numbers. So you got to pay attention to the number on the skeins. But when you're using stash yarn, who the hell cares? Okay, anyway, I got to clean up my mess here now. I got yarn everywhere. So what are you guys working on? How cold is it? How hot is it? The sun came. It was asking Georg. Georg got a picture of the sun. I did not get a picture of the sun, so I sent him a message about 3 hours ago and said, can I use your photo of the sun? I didn't get a sun photo. It's cloudy, overcast today. And he answered me at 5:33. You know, like, yes. I almost had a backup one with people blowing horns, but I'll use that another day, and that was from 2018 anyway. But you couldn't see the sun in that one. Then I'm looking up stock photos of sun just to have something with the sun in it, but it didn't. I'm not planning being sick anytime soon. We'll put those at the bottom. So, yeah. Anyway, so we got sun. And these go in here. Okay, I have to catch up on chat. You got to tell me what you're doing. And I heard Raymond caught up on his mood blanket. I did not catch up. I'm still 10 days behind. But I'm less behind than I was the week before. Okay. And then when Karl comes here, I'll ask him to film something. Because I did finish this hat. I think I showed it last week that I finished it and I just needed to block it. But then I thought, I'll show you how I blocked it. Because you can see it's kind of bumpy. This is the stitch of the month. This is the Oulu stitch. So you can see it's a little bit bumpy, especially where I joined. For example, new ones, that might be a join or just might be a fat fart in the yarn. That happens too. This is, by the way, an example of feathering. This color up here and this color down here are two different colors. And obviously I ran out of blue, so I kind of wanted to make it mix in. But there, you can see the green. And there you can see the green, but the brown kind of goes in between. So then I feathered it in so it looked like it was intentional that I ran out of yarn. Anyway, but I'll show you how I block this. I need to catch up on chat for you. See who's here. Oh, we got lots of people here. I liked my own video. Just want you to know that. I have it on the computer over here. So I missed who was first, but I know somebody. Audris is first on my computer. Let's see, +5 in Trondheim. Nice and sunny there. We had that we were going to get some, but it went away. James is here. He's cross-knit, needle binding a sweater in a panel. Oh my God, a sweater is a big project. Are you sure you want to jump down that rabbit hole? But then again, you got like big projects going on, James. So if anybody can do it, you can. Torben is here. He says, "Oola, +5, cloudy and full of moons." And a full moon. Is it a full moon today? That can't be good. And we all know what that means. Cider, cold, bubbly cider. Sorry, Karl's having beer. He won't touch cider. Maybe in the summer, but... Turin's here in Texas. She's got some nice weather. 19 degrees, that would be nice weather here. And Audris here. Audris, we mentioned that before. She likes the idea of 19. Let's see. Nella is here as well from Finland. And let's see, I'm reading about the temperature debate. Because I love winter. I love winter too. Let's see. Garcia's here from Holland, getting colder in Holland as well. I think we get one more cold snap at least before this winter is over with. We shall see. That's Karl's prediction. So if you don't like that, then tell Karl to stop looking at his shadow. Anya Davidko. I like that. Hi. My Anya doesn't know us, and she's in Helsinki, by the way. I'm Karin. I'm American living in Norway. Karl is the Norwegian, and we both work in Viking Valley, Gudvangen. But we do this on our own time because there's nothing else to do in Gudvangen in the winter. Anyway, so he's the Viking, and I got the Nalbinding. Let's see. Lyra's here from Kansas. By the way, she's got good weather too. Suze is here in San Diego. Charlotte's here in windy Bergen. We were in Bergen yesterday, by the way. I got my geek on in a game store while my kids and Karl ran around and bought everything that had something with manga or role-playing or dice to do. They had a good time. It snowed like mad in our face, but it was like the wet stuff, so I had to actually use an umbrella in the winter. Prude is here from South Africa. Let's see, she has, and she's dying in 31 degrees. She has POTS, so my ability to handle heat is nil. POTS? I have POTS. P-O-T-S. Let's see. Anne Moreau is here from Belgium. And Doro is here, and Karsten from Germany. Max is here. Max, are you in England? I keep forgetting where Max is from. Max is always here, so nice to see you again. And Heidi's here up in the north of Norway. And Lindsay's here from... Lindsay, where are you from again? I forget. And Arlene's here from Winnipeg. She's got... Oh, my God. It's 5 degrees today, but back down to minus 40 on Wednesday. Well, it was nice seeing spring while it lasted. Didn't hear what I was going to knit. It's a mood blanket. So I didn't bring all my pieces, but just imagine this, which is never going to get done. This was a shawl at once upon a time, but I am now ripping it apart to take the yarn back. It's a mood blanket, so you can do one day a year. Each day you assign a mood, whatever mood you're in. Maybe you're really pissed off, so find your favorite pissed off color, and you use that for either a stripe in the blanket or a length of yarn. For example, it could just be a length until you run out. And then you can do this with knit too, why not? You can even make it a scarf. It doesn't have to be a full-on blanket. And then the next day you have another mood, perhaps, so you change the color, and you assign these colors to your mood. And you keep going for a whole year, and if you didn't start January 1st and you thought this was a great idea, then who says it has to be a calendar year? You could just go, from February 24th to February 24th. But that was the idea of that. If you look up Kiwi's Instagram, you'll see a blanket that she did last year, and we all drooled over it so much that we all decided we had to do that. Some of them are actually doing a sweater. Some people are doing really long blankets. I think Raymond's got like 500 million stitches on it. Mine is like that big. But the idea is I'll do maybe another panel side by side because I won't have enough time to do a massive amount of stitches during the summer every day. So that was my plan. I'll either sew them together or I'll have a really nice shawl. Don't know. Anyway, so that's what the mood blanket was that we were working on. So if that sounds like fun anyway, and you have yarn you want to get rid of, go for it. And it doesn't even have to be the same kind of yarn. You could have a crazy thing. They're fun. Nella says, if I remember right, East Tex has a lot of natural brown, which is a blend out of sheep and is not dyed. These ones are dyed, but they do actually. I suspect, well, now I don't have the skein, but I suspect this is natural. If you can see the gray there. I think that's the natural color. I don't think that's dyed at all. But you can, you can get the natural color. Hiller's Vogue also has natural colors, and I think Rauma does too, if you know those. Lindsay says, I'm thinking about doing a make and take needle binding thing out at our fair starts in a few weeks. We went to Bergen yesterday, took the train, didn't want to drive it because avalanche season. And then I didn't want to, the blanket's now getting a little too big to carry around with me, so I made a hat. This is an Oslo stitch. It's extremely thick yarn. Doesn't look very chunky there, but it is. Maybe if I show it this way. There. It's really thick. It's soft. It reminds me of mochi. I have no idea what it is. It's even nice texture in there if you can see it. It's my mom's stash. She made my kids, my mom's a yarn snob. If you're ever going to steal somebody's stash, make sure it's a yarn snob. So she made my kid a brown teddy bear hood like this that she wears with ears. For twin 2 got that color, and twin 1 got this light color, so we called it chocolate bear and vanilla bear. And I didn't think I'd have enough brown dark brown to finish the whole thing, so I started striping, and it turns out not only did I have enough brown, I would have I made a pouch too. It's almost done. I'm doing the holes now, if you can see that. So this is what happens when you sit on a train and don't want to work on a blanket on a train. Hey, I need you to film for me. Did you pick out beer?
Don't know what they are. They're the most two calendar bears, I think.
Started a new hat, but that wasn't going to happen. So now I have to start ripping off the old hat and make this because there wasn't enough to go through. And the bad thing about stash yarn when you don't know where it is or where you can get it, I have no idea, but it is so thick, I'm pretty sure I don't have anything even close to it in my stash that goes with it. So that is why it's going to be hat and little pouches. And these, like I said, these are the holes that I'm putting in there now. It's basically chain 2, and then I bound in 3 because it's a very short distance around here. There's a lot of big stitches, or not very many big stitches, so. Then hopefully that will be done. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere around here, like, it'll go like that, and then on the other side too. Then I'll put like 1 row on top and put a leather cord on it. I used to make yarn cords, but the knot would get fuzzy and then they couldn't open it again. So now I use leather because we have a lot of little leather scraps, which we use for keys and stuff. So why not just stick it on a pouch? Okay, I'm catching up some more. Max is doing good, but as of now, currently making myself a pair of socks. Yeah, you're making the thong socks, the anatomically correct socks. How are those going? I want to know. Are they fitting? Do you need a beer? You get a beer because then you get to film me blocking. Because I forgot to bring the gimbal.
So you want me to drink a beer before I film you blocking?
Yeah. Because you can do the drunken camera thing. This is Karl, by the way. I got a couple new people today. Karl is my resident geek. He knows everything about the Viking Age, and if you can stump him, we'll be very happy. I'm just going to move my yarn projects away from his beer. Oh, God, what did you get? An energy beer. So if you don't know Karl, anything that looks girly or tastes like summer or has even a hint of mango, not good. The amount of pink in this can says Karl's going to be suffering today. This one's Os, and it's 4.7%, so you won't be plastered today.
What have I put in this thing?
It says it has caffeine in it. Contains caffeine. Inholder caffeine. Energy drink taste, 100% energy drink. Oh my God, you're going to be an Insta Viking now.
Very skeptical.
So in order to convince Karl to keep coming, we keep feeding him beer. How did you get started into doing Viking, by the way? Because you used to do Roman history or any kind of history.
No,
but somehow you decided Viking was the way to go.
I just like swords.
Oh, that's it?
Then I bought 5 of them from America.
Yeah.
Then I decided that, yeah, everybody can hang a sword on the wall, but how do you actually use the bloody thing?
Mm-hmm.
Then a little bit later, my sister's boyfriend, Björn
Yeah.
started training Italian longsword with Colin Richards.
Yeah.
Spangereid Vikingland was opened at about this time.
Mm-hmm.
Both Björn and Colin was associated with this place as volunteers and were employees.
Yeah.
So I applied for a job, and there you are.
And there you are. The rest was Viking.
Yeah, I
History.
started out by
Get it?
I started out by knowing a little bit about weapons and fighting, but very little about anything else.
Yeah.
And now I consider myself to be pretty knowledgeable about
That's it. You're probably the most knowledgeable person here, but you have an uncanny ability to remember everything you read. I don't know how you do it.
Smell it. Holy Jesus Christ.
That's Barbie and a beer. Oh my God, it smells like bubble gum. I can feel the estrogen just coming out of you
I'm
now.
not buying that this is beer. Not even a little bit. This.
It says energy.
And its foam's pink.
It's got pink foam on it. Best beer ever, Torbjörn. Torbjörn, you need this. Torbjörn needs this beer.
It smells
It's
like
so
Red Bull.
pink. It's like, I don't know. It smells like Barbie walked through the room.
It smells like Red Bull, but more intensely.
What color is that going to be in your glass? And by the way, nice
Pink.
Viking glass.
Pink, absolutely.
No, it's got like a pale beer color, but it looks more like an energy drink.
Yeah.
Karl, the energy drinking beer. You are an Insta Viking now, pal.
A little bit root beer taste.
Let's see, Arlene's sending you pink hearts for Barbie beer. I got more chat to catch up on too. Oh, PJ is here as well. Oh my god. This is why we give Karl beer on YouTube.
This is a crime against humanity.
So does it compare with the Belgians and the Lithuanian beer?
I would say that I'm really struggling to classify this as beer at all.
Well, it's got alcohol. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but
It looks like an energy drink with vodka in it, to be honest.
it's alcohol in sour milk. It doesn't turn it into beer.
It's sour milk.
Mhm.
Does it taste like sour milk?
No, but there is alcohol in that too.
Oh, okay.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
see where you're going with this.
Also, straight vodka is not beer.
He won't be plastered, but he'll be all hyped up, says Turun. He's gonna be boing, 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 boing. Pepe Le Pew. You're gonna be like the little skunk that bounces off the wall. Hello, my love. It's smelling of that. Pepe Le Pew. You're gonna be the cute little Viking. Oh, good to hear you're doing okay there. Yeah, that's right. Lindsay's in Texas too, by the way. There's two from Texas. I hope you're doing okay, Max. As for the mango part, maybe it's from the Philippines or somewhere else. Now, this one is, well, this is Os. This is Norwegian.
Yeah.
It looks like ass, probably tastes like ass, but it's AASS, which is two A's together is the same as A with a circle over, like your name, Ordal. It's not Ardal, but it's Ordal because the two A's is another way of making A with a circle over it, which pronounced O, like in boat, especially if you're from Minnesota and you say boat. Then you got it right. The Minnesota O. Like phone home. Anyway, so it's actually a minute. You got a lot of bunnies on there and the pinks there. I think the girls are very happy with your choice in beer today.
Yeah. This is the good thing with having a small glass. I just have to empty the glass. I don't have to empty the whole bloody thing.
Yeah, but we don't have a Swedish person to give that to. What are we going to do with it?
Toilet.
If you get here quick, you can have a free energy beer. I've never heard of an energy beer before. I can totally see why I picked that thing out.
I'm not buying it as a beer at all.
No?
Ås energiøl
Ja.
90% Ås øl tilsatt sukkerfri energidrikk og koffein.
Yeah.
100% energidrikk. Smak.
And you want to read that in, what's in English?
Ås Energy Beer is 90% Ås beer.
His voice got more feminine.
Added sugar-free energy drink and caffeine. 100% energy drink. Taste. There is no fat in it.
Well, that's good. You don't want to get that. God forbid. Let's see. I kind of skipped ahead here a little bit. Lyra's working on garb for Gulf Wars. Oh, that's going to be fun. She procrastinated again. I don't know anything what procrastination is like. I'm the procrastination queen. Max says maybe it has a hint of calamansi. I got a heart in the front of the way. I'll just hit the heart. There we go. Calamansi. Energizer bunny. You're going to be boing, 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 boing. Energizer sheep. Okay, well, before he starts hyping up, I'm gonna just put one more stitch on this thing. I'll show this one in a little bit. I needed to start a little sample here. Okay, so you get to hold the camera steadily so they don't puke. Not everybody needs to be as hyped up as you. And then oops, here. Let's see. Okay, if you have to move you have to move your legs. So come over here. I need a hat. Let's see. Okay, still got some back pain. Okay, come over here. And then I will put this here. I always talk about blocking, so I'm going to show you how I do it. I just came up with this last minute. There you go. So you can show the ironing board. You can go a little closer than that. How far are you here? If we look at the hat. There. the bumpy hat straight off the thumb. You can go a lot closer. There you go. Oh, I like the pose. There you go. Half a step back, or half a, there. Stop. Don't move. Okay, it's good. All right, if you don't hold it still, everyone else is going to puke. So you take a wet towel. It has to be cold water, of course, not boiling water, but wet. And you put it over the hat, or whatever the heck you made. If you don't want creases, remember where your top and bottom is. And and then you have the hot iron. I think this is from the 60s, this iron is ruinous. And you just go up and down a little. Just until the sizzling stops, and it looks so much better. So it's one of these things my mom would say is block your work. I'm not doing the sides, by the way, I'm just doing the middle. She says block your works because it's the difference between, you can see unblocked, blocked. This looks a bit more professional. And that. So if you make a sweater or something out of knitting or crochet or whatever, anything you make anyway, and you want to know why your stuff doesn't look like the stuff in the store, it's because the stuff in the store got blocked. Pretty much all there is. So I never actually filmed this before. So well, I'm not filming it now either. Karl is. He's doing a superb job. Nobody's puking yet. Maybe not. Okay. Do it again. I'm not doing the very top. I could have blocked the top before I rounded the edge when I was making it, if I wanted to keep the top. But this one has a little point to it, so it's okay. Are you jiggling, Karl? There. Ta-da. And if you don't have an iron, I guess we can also just leave a wet cloth on it and let it soak a little bit. But there you go. And then you kind of, it's steaming, so gotta kind of let the steam come out of it and hopefully not make new leaks. But it looks so much better. It looks professional. Well, I am a professional, am I? I'm an expert. Anyway, but it looks much, much better. So that is how I have to unplug this now, and we'll start a fire. Because that thing is producing massive heat. Okay, Karl, good filming. Let's see, and I'll turn it. Oh, now you can see the color changes really well in here. Okay, there you go. Now you can watch me so you don't puke on the ground. Okay, Karl, how you feeling with your energy beer there?
No, it's going to be a challenge to empty the glass.
We'll put that back up here. You don't need to down it.
I need to, because there is another bear in that one that it can't be this bad.
So was he shaking when he filmed? I didn't get to see it, but I'm excited to look back now. Did it start going like this to... Anyhow. Okay, I gotta catch up. There's lots more in here. I skipped a whole chunk in the middle. Garcia is knitting a penguano. Am I saying that correctly? I need to have this computer a little closer to me. Stephen West pattern and weaving with art yarn. Oh, I love Stephen West pattern. Did you actually make it? Okay, you can be all right. You're like, your face is as pink as the beer. No, Stephen West patterns. Oh my God! If you like knitting, my mom absolutely swears by him. She cannot, a pattern cannot come out, or a mystery project. By the way, he loves mystery projects. Where you get like a clue, and each week or each month you make a new clue or something, and then you put it all together, and you get to see what it is in the end. And all he does is give you kind of like suggestions as to your color. You get like a main color, contrast color, something with speckles, and it's so fun to see. Anyway, but the shawls are really cool. A lot of the shawls I've shown earlier, probably over a year ago now anyway, are Stephen West shawls. So that would be fun. We need to get him needle binding. Let's see there. I think I'm about where I was earlier on. Jennifer Miller is here. She says it's cloudy today for a high, not a fan. Or 36 for a high, not a fan. 36 would be okay here. It's flooding where PJ is at, but the river, oh no, the flooding by the river has gone down. But carting would be good. I'm gonna doing some carting. PJ's gonna do some carting. Max said, I was thinking about taking my Nalbinding with me while my parents' house separating my nephew's 3rd birthday, which is later today in the evening, I think. I can't go anywhere without a project. I remember my grandmother-in-law when I first moved to Norway. My grandmother-in-law, she was, well, she lived to be about 93 anyway. She used to just kind of look at me funny, why are you coming to family gatherings with knitting or crochet or whatever I was working on, and I told her I kind of have to have something in my hands. But then I noticed eventually she started doing the same damn thing, because that woman has made so many Norwegian sweaters and things. Do you want to open another beer now, Karl? Maybe you need to rinse that glass out, because the other one's going to taste like Barbie no matter what you do.
Yeah, but let's first see what it is, to see if it's worth a clean glass or not.
Yeah? I'm going to put some more stitches on here. Torin finished up knitting up sock cap the other day, had surgery last week, and I'm on medical leave through March 25th. That'd be a lot of green in my blanket if I did that. But I hope you recover well.
Okay.
Oh, this is an Ager one.
That's worth a clean glass.
This one should be good. So Ager Brewery, that symbol there, that is in our neighbor town of Flom. It's only 2 tunnels away, one long tunnel and one little tunnel in Flom, which is spelled F-L-A with a circle over it. It's got to be on here somewhere. Yep, there. If you can see it there, that's what the name. That's how you spell Flom. It's a little blurry. Anyway, but Ager. They make all kinds of beer there anyway, and so this one is Rallar, which is an amber ale. So this one should be good. 4.7, so we got this in a regular store percent. Are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Deep red in color. This amber ale includes 6 different malt types in the grain bill. I never heard the grain bill. Anyway, flavor hints of toffee and caramel. Though the beer is light in mouth feel and easy drinking. Mouth feel, that's a new term.
They use it a lot when
Oh,
they're
do they?
talking about beer.
Maybe do you have like a word for that in Norwegian or something that they're trying to directly translate? Mouth feel?
No, I generally speak English because I don't think I've been there for beer tasting without at least one English speaker.
Maybe we'd say feels light in the mouth or something, but this is going down a rotten path. Named for the workers that built the world-famous railway here in Flom, Rallar is a great companion for barbecue, cured meats, and cheeses. Recommended serving temperature 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know. So, you know about this Rallar?
Yes, yes.
Okay, explain what you drink.
Well,
The Flåmsbanen, we all know that one. That's the train.
but this goes for basically every old railway in Norway and some of the roads, because Norway is not densely populated, so you don't usually have enough people close to where you want to build a railroad to have to use local workers to build it, because then the 2 guys that live nearby will show up and nothing will get done. So you have like, they are from everywhere. A lot of them are Swedish. Some of them are from other parts of Norway. And they kind of move around wherever there is work. Like a railroad construction will kind of follow the railroad and so on.
Yeah.
So they kind of develop their own kind of culture and identity, because it's just a bunch of men with some camp-following women building railroads and stuff.
Uh-huh. All right, well,
A lot of drunkenness and crime associated with these people, of course.
Well, therefore,
They're
you have a
Swedish,
reason to
so
make a beer. Oh, come on.
What the hell would you expect?
What are the Swedes doing in Norway, by the way?
Hmm?
What are the Swedes doing in Norway, by the way?
What do you mean, what are they doing in Norway?
Why are they the ones working on the railroads and not the Norwegians?
I just explained that.
I know. No, it's a very common thing for them to come here and work here in the summer.
Yeah, no,
Not here, but in Norway.
yeah, no, that's because they want proper pay.
Oh,
So,
the cost of living is higher here too, though.
yeah, but if you have Swedish standards, you can just live in a garbage can.
So, and by the way, if you don't know, Karl likes to crap on everybody.
Particularly Sweden.
That's every Norwegian likes to do that, though. It does have a nice red color. Hold that up to the light. Don't drink it all, you. Look, how pretty! That does look like an amber ale. Well, it is amber ale, but I mean, it looks like amber. Sometimes they call them amber and they don't look amber.
Yeah. Wonder if that's a coincidence.
Oh, shut it. How do you like it, though?
It's good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It still smells like Barbie in here.
Mm.
Yeah.
But this is the right thing to wash the Barbie out of my mouth.
Okay. Then,
Well, I like Ager Brewery because normally when we are kind of in the same business and pretty much in the same place and dealing with tourism, no matter how much we think we are colleagues, we are actually competitors because the tourists only have this much time and have this much disposable income. But with Agate Brewery, I think we are cooperating better than we are with anybody else.
Yeah.
Because we have them in the daytime when the sun is up, and when the sun goes down, they go to Agate to drink beer. So we have very little conflict. We are interested in the same type of tourists, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we do.
it's also good for me that tourists I have guided earlier in the day will be in Agate.
Oh, they were so happy to see you. You barely
later on.
stepped a foot in the door and they're like, oh my God, it's our guide. Can we take a photo with you? By the way, can I buy you a beer? That happened a couple times. And then you went out for a cigarette because you have a nasty habit. And there you are, a Viking outside of the brewery that looks a bit like a stave church, smoking a cigarette. And it takes you about 15 minutes to come back in because you got a girlfriend with you who says, it's okay, you can take a photo with him. Everybody wanted to take a photo with you because naturally you have to be a Viking when we don't change, you just go straight there. Because seeing a Viking in your brewery is not all uncommon, actually.
We are not pretty rarely.
We are there pretty rarely, but there's a lot of others. There's volunteers and other people who work here that go there quite a bit. Because that's pretty much one of the only games in the area, actually. Okay. I have to catch up here. PJ says, if I did a mood blanket today, today's color would be pissed off. Why? Could be fun, though, if you pick a good color for pissed off. But, okay. Karl, if you were going to do a mood blanket, what would your mood be today? Energetic?
I think I think I've said this before. My mood is the same every day.
Yeah.
Vaguely amused and annoyed.
Today's going to probably be just productive day because it's I got a lot of work done. And let's see. See, then they're getting into the Barbie beer kick. That is some really fun chat. You have to look at that later. Torrance says, we have something. Oops, I went too far. I lost it. No, there it is, just before the... we have something called Four Loco here that's kind of similar. I'm going to have to get him some. And you can see if you're the Four Loco. Poco Loco y el Coco.
It's similar to Water Energy Bear.
Yeah, to the Barbie beer there, because we're back in the Barbie beer chat. Let's see. Matt, no, we already read that one. Anne says, I still don't get why Karl keeps drinking the bad stuff. If it's not beer, throw it out. Yeah, he does. More than once have you dumped it in the grass or flushed it down the toilet.
It's so much easier if you have Swedish people around. It's like having a dog. You can give all the food you're not eating to the Swedish people.
The Max says the calamansi is, if I'm saying that right, fruit is a citrus hybrid that is a cross between a mandarin orange and a kumquat. I could smell Barbie. And Torben says, today I'm drinking Humlepung, a cider with hops. It will be a nice reward for surviving the day. I suspect someone gave the kids cocaine. They've been acting like frenzied goblins all day. So what would your mood be today, Torben? By the way, why do it Humlepung? Oh, so Humle, I think of bumblebee, and Pung, I think of ballsack. So is this like a bumblebee ballsack that he's drinking? Or am I just completely untranslating that?
Yes, but
incorrectly translating
it is also correct to call pung in Norwegian.
Don't be, put your balls back in.
Any kind of bag is a small bag.
All right, warning, I'm going to show you Karl's crotch now. He wants to show you his pung. Okay, ready? There. You have now seen Karl's sack. His pung. I'm sorry, you were saying before I interrupted? You just grabbed your crotch and said, I'll show you what my pung is.
My crotch is not up here, woman.
I was like watching you in the corner of my eye. Has Karl tried Youngling? No, but we need to get this. Lear asks, it's just started being popular in the middle Midwest. Yueng Ling.
Yuling.
No, Youngling. This is it's Midwest, so United States. So that would not be spelled Yuling. That's a different one. That's I think
Youngling, as in German word for young kids.
Possibly. Not a youngling. Well, youngling, but this was spelled. Yep, we have to look that one up. We're finding more Barbie beers. But she's laughing as she writes this, so I'm not sure that's a good idea. By the way, and Torben says, that's not beer, that's Bruce for children. Yeah, no, this is definitely a kiddie drink. It's, yeah, maybe a teenager drink. Sue says, can you use the steam setting on the iron? It doesn't have to be a wet towel. I think you can. I'd be a little careful, but do not move the iron. Just go straight up and down. You could probably try the steam setting, but the wet towel is so much easier because then it lays on there. Whatever you have underneath is already pushed flat, so you don't have to worry about putting a crease in it. You don't want to stretch it. You just want it to lay it flat and go up and down. So I haven't tried it with the steam setting, although for all I know the steam setting is on that, but then I did it through a wet towel. But yeah, you're basically introducing steam into the fabric and then setting it, yeah. So you don't want to stretch anything out anyway, and you don't want to agitate it because if you start rubbing it back and forth, you can cause it to felt and lose its shape. And then, of course, you need it to kind of cool off. You don't want to, like, immediately fold it up right away when you're done. Let it kind of sit. I usually put mine on, hang it on something so that it kind of stays round so it doesn't get a crease. That's actually a really good question. I don't know if you could use steam. I'm looking at you like you have the answer. You know everything, but not this one. But you know what? You probably could. Another reason I like to go through the towel, though, is if there is any hint of synthetic in there, it won't melt to the iron. So, because you're being quick. Question for Karl says, Audra, can I use silver and brass jewelry at the same time, or do they all have to be silver only?
These are things it's very hard to say.
For Viking, she means, by the way.
I get it.
No, I meant for them. Yeah.
These are things it's very hard to say anything sensible about, but I'm pretty sure, I can double check this, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that you very often find mixes of these things in graves.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But the problem you keep running into is that in graves, the graves have so often been robbed, basically close to the time of the burial. So you very rarely find the actual treasures in the grave. But I can't see any cultural reason why they wouldn't. If something looks cool and expensive, you will use it with the other things you have that looks cool and expensive when you want to look fancy. I don't see any sensible reason why people would go, oh, no. We are not wearing the brass thingy anymore. We are silver.
How dare you wear
original."
white after Labor Day? Or is it the other way around?
I also don't think that even the wealthy people in the Viking Age, that's their upper middle class, I don't think they would be rich enough that they would have the conscience to basically just leave some of their jewelry around. They would wear almost all of it, almost all of the time.
Well, for example, I only recently got new turtle brooches, and you've been buying me so much silver over the years. So one of the last things to get swapped out is the turtle brooches, although we found some that are silver plated that I got last year. But for the longest time, then I have this silver jewelry on me, but my turtle brooches are still bronze. And I could say that I couldn't wear them just because they weren't silver. However, then my dress would fall down and everybody would see more than they bargained for that day.
But this is actually a question where you finding the answer is not that difficult, because all I have to do is to check the finds.
Yeah.
If you consistently only find one of the metals at a time, so this woman had only silver jewelry, this woman had only bronze jewelry, then that's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is the case, but I haven't read up on it. So I'll do that and I'll come back to you in the next episode.
Yeah.
If this one reminds me, I can. This is fairly quick to Google, so.
Yeah. No, I would think you could, because you've also got heirlooms too. So, you know, if you've got something that you've inherited from your mother or your grandmother, etc., and they didn't necessarily follow.
Yeah, the problem there is that those things don't go in the grave, because they will be inherited by the next generation again.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
but-
won't find them in archaeology.
No. But then you would wear it though, even if it was a different metal, wouldn't you think?
Yes, but I don't have their cultural baggage.
No.
So I don't know if I would wear it if I was a Viking woman.
Yeah.
That's headspace I don't really have ambitions of putting myself in.
Keep drinking that beer and you'll get there. Okay, I'm a little bit farther behind. Let's see. So did the Vikings do that with a steam iron? No, but you know what? They actually did iron their clothes in a way. We find there's like this board. There was a board that was found, I believe, with the 2 horse heads on it anyway, and they have these round smoothing stones. Board? The whalebone board, yeah. Yep. And then they have these round stones that they would use to smooth, the smoothing stone. And they were still doing that not too long ago here, like I would say 70s or so. You have, when I came to Norway, one of the things I noticed on the walls, you have these really elaborately carved, it might be in the shape of a horse, and it's a handle on this big, long, flat piece. And you would use that actually to smooth your bunads. I was kind of surprised. Or the tablecloth or whatever, but it almost looks like this elaborate carving on a slightly thick ruler anyway, and you could use that to smooth as well. Yeah, because if you get it when it's still damp anyway, I think you can do that. But I've never really tried to use one, but on my ex's side of the family, both his mother and father's side of the family, they both had some hanging on the walls from past. I have to look that one up now. That's an interesting subject. So no, they didn't have an iron, but we do know that they used a smoothing stone. It's also good for making creases on, like if you want to sew this down, this end, you can crease it. So you get like a little bit of a fold. The linen would fold, no problem. Wool, on the other hand, could be a little bit trickier. Max is swearing 26 degrees Fahrenheit in my location. Okay, Max is hot. Max, you're hot.
26 degrees Fahrenheit, what's that in civilized measurements?
Below 0. So Max is not hot. Max is cold. PJ says, today's mood would be pissed off because a parasol that I ordered today arrived and a quarter of my order, which I paid for, was missing with no explanation. I think they have a glass of mead. I might have a glass of mead. It's sort of, I thought you meant they had a glass of mead before they ordered. You had a problem with an order that you got somewhere. It came with a whole bunch of rust on it, actually. Yeah, but we took photos of it and complained it was really bad. It's usable, but you don't buy something new and expect it to come with massive amounts of rust on it. But you got a discount on that, or what did they?
I haven't gotten a reply.
Oh, it's time to poke that bear. That was before Christmas, was it not?
Yeah, no, but.
Yeah, I will poke them. Okay, Sue says, I'm pretty sure Youngling beer is the oldest beer in the beer company in the United States. It's the name of the beer. And Torun's still singing, I'm a Barbie girl. No, I'm a Barbie beer in a Barbie world. Elf is here, by the way. No, you're not late. You're just on time. Karl had Barbie beer. And Lyra says, reminder to clean and oil your sewing machines. Oh, God, that's a good point. I had this Kenmore sewing machine from Walmart, God knows, I don't know what. And I brought it with me to the United States, from the United States over here, because I didn't have anything else, and it's kind of expensive to buy a sewing machine. It converted electricity, which was great, but it was really noisy after a while, and it wasn't that noisy when I started using it, so I wasn't sure. So by then I had gotten another sewing machine. This is a couple years in now, and I thought, well, why waste this one, but let's just see what happens. So I unscrewed every screw that I could find down to a certain level, and then I would tape that screw next to where it was supposed to go, so I would remember to put it back in there. Dusted everything. Amazing how much lint gets in there. You could just get most of that out with these little short toothbrush type things. Some of them are just like that. And then you would add more oil to it and smooth it up, etc., and then put it all back together again and run some crappy cloth through for a while so that the oil kind of works its way through. You don't want to get oil on the good cloth. It was like night and day difference. I can't believe that I, who am mechanically challenged, managed to get that one working. It was better.
You're not that mechanically challenged.
No, I'm better than I thought. I sell myself short. But anyway, it was amazing to do. So it actually, yeah, and it didn't make that big thud 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 noise anymore. So I always thought that was maybe the conversion was kind of getting old, but nope, it worked just fine. Elf says, one of my books got water damage. The mailman dropped it in our front door during a snowstorm. Oh, yeah, and the spinning wheels, too, by the way. Have you ever had any other orders not arrive well?
I haven't.
We're down that rabbit hole?
But this place as a business sure as fuck has.
Yeah, no. Well, with my old job, too, that I also dealt with claims. Yeah, no, we've had chessboards arrive cracked, but they replace them immediately.
We had a large order of books.
Oh, yeah.
Cardboard boxes. that was just placed outside the door in a rainstorm, and then he just fucks off in a random direction.
The delivery guy, yeah.
If it wasn't for a guy who kind of has some association with us walking by and seeing it and thinking, okay, that's not right, the entire order would have been destroyed.
Soaking wet, yeah. But luckily, when we opened it up, it was actually okay. I don't think anything got damaged.
It was a little bit damp. I photographed it. I took everything out and put it out to dry and photographed the state of it. And when I came back over the weekend, it was a lot better. So it was actually kind of sellable. To the extent that books in Norwegian are sellable at all.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that driver got a bit yelled at. But then fast forward a couple of years to last year? We ordered a bunch of books in there about the thickness of a magazine, and I think we ordered 50 of them, but 4 of them looked like they'd gotten caught in something, so they were kind of bent a little on the top. And you could see it was going through all of them. And so I thought, well, okay, I used to work with claims in another department, in another job. So I took a picture when I sent it to him, and I'm like, he gave it to us for free. I'll tell you what, I'll credit you for all those books, and you can do whatever you want with them. And we ended up offering him, I think, at a discounted price, because, why get rid of the book? But it was quite nice to be able to do that. But most places that I've had to write a claim for work purposes, they are really quick to, they want you as a customer. They don't want to lose it. I mean, you're ordering for 25,000 kroner at a time. They want to make sure you're happy. So they'll make it right for you. Another one, we got a bunch of books from Germany, which we wanted about the Viking Age, so our German customers can get something that's in their own language. But they all arrived with these sale stickers on them. And the sale sticker was less than the price that they sold it to us for, because, you got import costs and everything too. But obviously we can't mark it up or even put it at the cost price with a sticker on it that says it should be a lot less. So we tried to get stickers off, but it was kind of hard to do without having residue, or it was a hardcover book with this overlay on it, and it would kind of puff up a little bit. No, he credited us for all of those as well, which was quite nice. So it's worth it. I mean, the worst they can say is no, but it should, everybody wants it to be right. Okay, I was going to show this stitch with a plaited edge, and I notice every once in a while I want to go back to a regular edge. But I think we might have enough to see it here. Okay. Anyway, so if you've got some other fun little stories about, oh yeah, like knitting needles, for example, too. There was symphony needles or Knit Pro needles or something. If they come separated from the cord, send them a claim. They'll send you a new one. So there's a lot of things that's worth complaining about, because you wouldn't think that was something you could get fixed, but no, you actually can. They want you to be happy, and they want you to keep buying their products. I'm gonna fix this. Are you sleepy?
Lately, every time we have an order, I have the impression that they're just throwing in some weird item with either an Egeshjalmar or a Vegviser on it.
Oh, that depends where you're ordering from, though. Yeah, some companies are not exactly as attuned to Viking as others, and they
they are attuned to Viking. They're just attuned to the wrong type of Viking.
Like the rune books that come with Egeshjalmar on it.
Yeah, no, we should never have that in the shop to begin with, and it's not really a rune book.
No, you want to go down that debate? You just explain it. I'm going to start stitching. Explain your thing about the rune book that arrived with the Egeshjalmar on it, and I'll see if I can.
It's not a rune book. It's a book about Icelandic magic from the 1700s.
Oops.
It has absolutely nothing to do with the Viking Age.
I tried to change my phone and
Not as in, it has a little bit to do with the Viking Age, but it's mostly about something else. No, it has nothing to do with the Viking Age. They are just choosing to call staves for runes because it sells better.
Yeah. No, because binderins are so popular with people. Okay, I think this will work. I don't have the gimbal with me, but I'll wedge the phone. So this is what I was trying to do. Can you hand me the hat over there that I left on the... This should be plaited edge, but you can see when I do plaited edge, here's the tip. The string should always be pointed... Oops, I'm upside down. No wonder that doesn't make sense. When you do plaited edge, which will, if you don't remember from last time, I'll show you in a minute, your row where you're picking up should always be going this way if you're right-handed anyway. But every once in a while, I'll find one that goes the other way, which is what happened when I picked up here somewhere. I forget where it is, but then you know that you suddenly did the regular. But so this is what I was doing just to see what it would look like. This is F1. I mean, not F1, but this is just the regular way that I was showing you before the stitches. The Oulu stitch. So there it was. There you can see I had one that went the wrong way. So I have a little screw up here, and I'd have to pick back a whole row to fix it, but this is just a sample, so we're going to blow past it. Okay, so then I pick up one from before, but then you're taking we got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops there. So the second loop goes back, and you pick up the third and the fourth from behind, and then you pick up the second loop again this way, and then you go under normally, under this one and this one. But if you want to do a plaited edge on any stitch, you just go over the working yarn, and that makes a plaited edge. But this one doesn't have there's another stitch name, I'm sure, or something anyway that has a plaited edge. But I'm doing it for fun because I wanted to see what the difference would be. I keep getting my end yarn stuck in here. But where I have that little hiccup, that's not going to work. I think there is also where I did my yarn the wrong way. So anyway, F1. And then you pick up the second one, put it behind while you pick up the second and third. Or the third and fourth, sorry. Then you go back and pick up the second one. Then you go under the thumb. And instead of going under, you would go under the one normally, but I'm going plaited edge, so I want to go over it just for fun. This is not plaited edge. This is just regular. But then again, I showed another little tip that Sana had on her page, the Neulockentat page, where she's got a video where you go much lower. She'll take this second loop up and she will put it on her finger. She saw another way of doing that. Now it's out of the way and you can reach the third and the fourth loops. And then you pick it up that way. Then you go and pick up that one. There. And then I want plaited edge. But every time I try to do plaited edge, I accidentally screw up and forget that I'm doing that because I've done so many of the finished style stitches, or stitches where it goes underneath. So this is the last month we'll do Oulu, or the last week I think we have Oulu, and then next month we'll do a new stitch. We were talking about the sconson stitch. I did that one a long time ago, and I might make that one March. It depends on if I find the right yarn for it. It's actually not called the sconson stitch. I think it's called something else, but it kind of earned its name. Somebody asked a question in one of the Facebook groups, and then nobody knew what it was, and it went from there. But there is a video from the Skansen Museum in Sweden where she's doing a certain stitch. And I think it's pretty much Broden, but with an M2 or M1 connection, I forget. But because the video was taken from the Skansen Museum, they've been calling it the Skansen stitch because she had a different way of doing most stitches. But I think it was Max that brought that one up, so maybe we'll do that next month. I was going to have a sample made, but I didn't get that far. My kids are visiting, and it's so much fun. We went shopping for geeky stuff. So anyway, I'll do one more here, because I think I'm beyond the errors. So now this is also, you can see it's kind of flat looking now. It looks more like cloth. This is steamed, but there's my mess up. Let's ignore that. That is what the difference would be. You've got like 2 ridges now instead of just the one. So there you go, just doing a plaited edge instead of the regular way, or going over the working yarn instead of under. Same stitch though, then it does that little effect. It does look a little bit more braided here. And then if you flip it on the other side, assuming I didn't show, that's got a mistake, I can see it. So there. Then it looks like that. That's the wrong side. Technical wrong side, technical wrong side. But the reason I think why they call it plaited edge is because the technical wrong side will always look more plaited, or more braided, plaited, if I was going to be British. Plaited. But it looks more like a braid than most things do when you go under the yarn. So there you go. Hey, Roger! You want to say hi? We're on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that's okay. I was showing a stitch, but you can say hi. It's
Hello.
Roger. See, he's never on YouTube.
No.
But you've seen him now.
Roger and Maria too rarely on YouTube.
They're hiding.
Yeah.
Roger does most of the building around here. So if you like the buildings and if you like all the maintenance, and the sheep suddenly have a new home and you can now shoot arrows out of the rain, and even your target isn't in the rain anymore. And if you're throwing axes, those targets break all the time, but there's magically always a target there. That's Roger
If
who
you're
does that.
wondering why the sheep are not starving and the tourists are not wet, that's the explanation.
That's it. Yep, your arrows and the sheep are not wet. Now all we need is an axe throwing cover.
Wet, but they're not starving.
Oh, anyway, They're saying hi, by the way, Roger.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Fjallar.
Yeah. Yeah.
True Norwegian. He's probably the most local Viking around.
You were saying something about the goats.
His
No,
family
yeah, I
farm is
wonder
just
what
down
your
the
couch,
river.
If it's outside or
It's outside. You want to take it and burn it?
yeah.
There's a chair too.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't
Is
take
it
is
outside?
it's outside. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't miss it. You'll run over it. If you want to take it and burn it, have it. He's a pyromaniac.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Look how
it's-
proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to burn it, that would be awesome.
And yeah.
Yay! He's gonna burn. You know, do you want to tell your best pyromaniac Fjallar story?
That would probably be the sacks of wool you told him to get rid of.
Oh, that was funny. Do tell the story. I'm gonna catch up on chat to see anything because we're at the end here.
He usually shows up like an hour before everybody else and makes sure that the village is open, the fire is lit, and so on. And he likes making big fires.
Pig.
And when she gives him 2 sacks of old rotten wool, it had been around for too long and it wasn't taken properly care of, so we kind of just had to throw it away. He decides that the best way of throwing it away is to throw it directly on the fire. So when we come to work, there is a big carpet of grey smoke all over the lower part of Gudvangen. And when we get to the shop owner basically leans over and goes, "What the hell are you doing over there?"
There's like this low cloud over the whole
And you
valley.
know what
and
wool smells like when it burns, right?
oh my god, it's like burning human hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this was wool that it was a couple of years old. After a while, it starts kind of degrading, and we've got more new wool coming in because.
Yeah. The sheep keep producing it.
Yep. And if you leave it laying around too long, it will get moths. So we just burn it because we got new coming in. The local farms like to donate it to us because otherwise they just throw it in the woods. Yeah. By the way, Nella says, Karl, I've answered Karl's question about the Stitch families in Instagram lives today. Lives as in Instagram has cut the live length to 40 minutes. Oh, I didn't know that. It's been a long time since I've had time to do that. But anyway, yeah. So if you find Nella N or Nella _ Finn, with 2 N's anyway. Like Finland or not the dorsal fin. But anyway, if you go in there, I've got to see that too. I need to check that out. About the names of we were talking the names of the Russian, there's like the Russian family of stitches and the Finnish family of stitches. If you go on Nylockentot, you'll see big long lists. But that the Russian family does not mean they're Russian and the Finnish family doesn't mean that they're Finnish stitches. But anyway, so Nella went into that, which would be really good because she knows a lot more of the geeky stuff than I do. But I'm an expert. I'm better at practical. I'm good at practical, not better at the back practical, but good at practical. But I'm much better at practical than I am at history. Nella's on her 3rd Knit Pro set. I'm seriously thinking I should go with something else next time. I need to rebuy. Try the Chaigu needles, and you can just hear them whisking. But what really bugs me is when that wire comes off. But you can't. Most of the places will replace it if the wire of the round needles comes off. Let's see. And Elf had a question, by the way. When you are making a blanket or shawl or other large stitch item, how do you keep track of the number of stitches, and how do you do this in acrylic without the whole joints? I would without the whole joints showing. Well, with acrylic, I'm going to put this down again. I do a lazy join.
Is the shop open?
No, the shop is closed.
And I mean the door to
Oh,
the shop.
our shop. No, I locked it, but you can go in there. Let's see. Depending on how you joined, no, I was hoping I had the socks with me because I do the lazy join on there. But I'll
I just wanted the pocket museum book because I think.
Go get it.
Double check.
Yeah, go get it.
We might answer.
Yeah, no, we can go a little over today. We're not in any hurry to get home, so. So one thing I will do, I probably should have done this a little bit closer then. I need the same needles, so let's get this yarn out of the way. Maybe we get this out of the way and it's easier to see. So what I would do if I want to join, I leave this one kind of falling behind. This is a little tricky though, because if you don't do it right, you'll get a hole in your fabric and you don't want that. And then you'll have to try to weave it in later and that's not so easy. So we'll get this out of the way too. So this one, I will have it out of the way, but I will try to repeat the last motion that I did with it. Or at least to hide it on the back side. But you can see the yarn kind of went here. Then it went behind those. Somehow follow the end the path that it went anyway, just enough to bury it. And you can have the yarn on the front side here, the tail on the front side, it doesn't matter. But pull it almost all the way through, long enough that you can rescue it instead of having it disappear. Then this one, now you have two that are going the same way there. This old one, you can just kick it out of the way. Deal with it later. And then you do your next stitch as you normally would. So in this case, you know, if you're doing Oslo, whatever, just continue whatever your normal stitch is. Now I've pushed that one out of the way and I'm continuing with this one. But you've got these little ends you gotta be careful of that they don't get caught. Sorry, I keep going off screen there. Like that. And this is off. See, now I pulled my wrong end through because I'm a nub. So it's not the easiest way to do it. Try that again. Something like that, I think it was. Okay. So it's good to have a little end to go with. Okay, maybe I'll try to hold that out of the way. Okay, then I do my stitch. Not the easiest stitch to do this with, because when I was making those socks, I got two little holes I had to fill. Okay, so that's my normal stitch. And then you keep going. But the trick is to keep those out of the way and not pull it too tight. And then if I get past it a little bit, again, trying to keep those old strings out of the way. And this was supposed to be an F or a plaited edge. Sorry. And there. Maybe one more. I think I gotta do two more. There's just 4 loops involved in this one. But the hard part is not pulling it out in the beginning. And then when you go around the next round, when you're working on top of it, then you gotta try to not turn 1 loop into 2 loops. Okay. So if I make this a little bigger and take it off, then you can see I've continued, but now I've got this little tail here. I can push it through the back side and weave it in. And then you've got this one here too, and this is where you can accidentally make an extra loop. So when you're working over, you've got 1, 2, 3, but these two are actually is it this one? These two, sorry. If you see there, these two are actually the same loop, and it would be really easy to count them as 2 different ones, and then you get like this hole. But you would kind of continue over that way. And then you kind of weave it in the end. But another way to do it, let's see, which might be even easier yet when doing acrylic, is just plain old tie a knot, but leave some long yarn on it. And then keep going. This is for the acrylic, by the way. Let's see if I can do that. Because you can, if you don't like the knot in there, I don't, it's like the Princess and the Pea. I will know that damn thing is there. I could feel it. And then you gotta get these ends out of the way. Let's see. So now it might be kind of coming through. And pull the ends with you so the end stays with the knot. Now I think I would be able to push these out of the way and continue 1 more stitch or 2. And again, you'll have an issue on the next row. So you got to kind of watch it. Okay, do 1 more for good measure. This is how I did it in the beginning when I did acrylic. I would just tie a knot, but I would make sure that I had a bit of a tail on it. Don't cut it too close, because then what I can do is when I've worked past the next row, gone 1 more time around, I can actually unpick that knot a little bit and then just weave it in, as long as it doesn't make a hole. But it will work. It's just not for the faint of heart. So, but that would be one way to do it. And if you didn't want the knot, you just got to make sure that your yarn continues wherever the loop went when you weave in the end. But that knot really isn't that big. It's just me being finicky that I can feel it, but it's not that big. And you had a second part of that question. What was it? How do I keep track of the number of stitches? I have a weird thing. It's probably an OCD thing, but I tend to count in 3s, and this is going to be easier to show you on the big hat. It doesn't really matter where you count on this stitch. There's that beautiful Oyvind needle. You can count these, the midpoints. So you don't want to start with this one because you've been in that one. You want to start on these. So I would count in 3 because I always lose track. So I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for some reason, if I lose track, I remember, I'll know that 3 back was 9 or something. 10, 11, 12. So I count these as I go to see how many need. And you go all the way around till you get to the other end. And you count these loops 2, 3, 4, and don't forget this one, 5. The one that's on the very end. You're counting all the loops all the way until you get to this. And that is the distance from here to there. But, yeah, you could technically count the diamonds, but it would be easy to add one because do you start from there or do you start from this diamond and then you end at this diamond? But I think this is the easiest way to count. So hopefully that answered your question. Karl, why don't you, what do you have in the book? Here.
This isn't really what I was looking for, but there is a necklace find from Birka. This
First,
one,
which book are you using?
Pocket Museum.
Yeah.
There is a necklace find from Birka that I'll see if I can find the actual find, but it is very similar to this one. But this one is from Oulu, Norway. This one has only silver on it, but I strongly believe,
Yeah.
I'll double check it as soon as I have time to Google it.
So you can look in closer, yeah.
But I strongly believe that the Birka necklace that looks very similar to this has both silver and bronze on the same necklace. This one has silver and gold on the same necklace, but that's not exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. But at least it shows that you wouldn't mind mixing something with something that is 50 times more expensive.
It could be kind of cool. Like those new tortoise necklaces, or tortoise brooches I got. They're brass, but they're, I think they're bronze maybe, but they're silver plated. So it kind of had the look of the silver without all the expense of it. Let's see. BJ says it was 4 boxes of protein breakfast cereal. They only sent 3. Maybe they'll send me some complimentary boxes. That'd be nice. They might do that. They might credit your account too.
The whalebone
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that you talked about earlier is also in this book.
Sorry. That's the whalebone thing for smoothing your fabric. Not the toy sword.
I really recommend this book for, it's like a Bible. It doesn't have every find from the Viking Age, but it has a representative find from almost all of the categories.
Oh, and you can see the size of it in relation to a hand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's at the museum in Walter's Art Museum in Baltimore. But yeah, you can see, and then this is, a lot of times when you'll see embroideries or decorations with those horse heads on it, they're getting from something like this. But it's quite cool. No, we like that book. We refer to it a lot. A lot of the things we have in the shop are listed in that book as well.
So these are horses with teeth like that?
I'm calling them horses. Back off, man. What does it say there? What does the archaeologist say it is?
I don't know.
Smoothing board, they call it. I might be heading my hand over
Dragon
the
heads.
that's a cop-out answer. Everything's a dragon head. Oops, sorry. There we go.
If the horses had in the Viking Age had teeth like that, I understand why the Vikings didn't ride them more often.
Ah, Lindsay says, by the way, a dab of super glue will fix most knitting issues like that. It would, unless you're like me and you pull the knitting needle like the death. But that's a good, it's a good tip though. And then of course smooth it out. James is going to do a little bit of knitting with knitting needles and knitting a pair of mittens and have 161 different types of techniques. Oh my God, that's going to keep you busy. Yes, Vemonsjarvi, says Max. That's the one that's the Oulu stitch with the plaited edges. Got a name. That's what I thought. Vemonsjarvi, just look up in chat how the way Max spelled it. Link of the video if you find it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Throw links in the chat here for other people. Chicago needles are... Oh, Chaigu. Yeah, oh, they're wonderful. Let's see, then I think we are probably running out. Norse Celt Lady is... Oh, yeah, no, they're changing... they're linking their Instagram accounts, which is good. I just posted the hat I Nalbinding for my dad. I have got to get my ass back on Instagram more regularly. Let's see. Man, yeah, acrylic is kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to use if you're not used to it. But once, I mean, you can use it. Don't be afraid of it. This might even have some acrylic in it because I spit splice. I just did a longer overlap and it was able to go, but I had to pull really carefully because it was not the best splice. But it spliced enough for me to get past it. You can't see it too well. I had to actually remove half the thickness before I spliced it. I would split it like this and then have two of them go together. It'd go a little bit bigger than that, but then I would actually remove half of it and then take the other two over so that it wouldn't get too thick. Did you find? Because we're pretty much out of time if my kid's calling me. What'd you find, Karl? Audra says, yes, dragon. I love dragon. Okay, we're going with dragon. Horses are out now. Now, Audra, if you've got silver, great, but I think you got to keep that spiral brass ring on your thumb. It looks so cool when you needle bind with that thing. If you haven't seen it, you have to go and check for Audra to see that. I think, did I get all the questions in here? Otherwise, there might be some more. And then we've got next week, we're going to go on what, Saturday? We're 14 minutes over, so we should probably... Saturday next week, yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. Did you find anything?
I found a picture in a book of the necklace I'm looking for, which isn't super helpful. But I believe some of these, because this, I kind of...
I'll show it here. Hold it still, though, because you're going to have... When it's on your camera, when I'm showing your
you're
phone,
showing...
You have to hold it, yeah, because it'll jiggle.
Oh, this is Inception.
Yeah.
Somebody on Pinterest took a picture of a book.
Yeah.
Then I show it on my phone, and now she is filming it with her phone. So this has gone by way of a lot. But it's a very interesting piece of jewelry, because it's like Viking has been collecting souvenirs. So he has a Frankish coin, an Arabic coin, a Frankish sword mount, something from a Spanish stirrup, and all sorts of weird things on this necklace, in addition to a lot of carnelian and rock crystal semi-precious gems. And if I remember correctly, but that's the problem with Google now, that if you Google something like Birka necklace, you will get page after page after page of necklaces they are trying to sell to you before you get to anything that has to do with the archaeology of Birka. So I need a little bit more time, but I'm pretty sure on this one you have bronze and silver on the same necklace. But and that would prove that mixing them is no problem. But I couldn't find a conclusive answer for you this quickly, so I'll see what I can do by next YouTube.
Okay. Got one more here. I thought I could show it on this one. This is in our Boga project. Elf was wondering how Anne got her stitches so small on her Nalbound. If you know Anne Decker's blog, by the way. See if we try like that. So whatever stitch you're doing again, this one is our Boga. Oops, now I have to remember because I'm mixing my stitches up now. So however you make your stitch, just make your stitch. But then you can see it's loose on there. It's no longer on my thumb. I took it off. Tighten it to the needle. And then finish your stitch. And then this is the case. This is where your needle size will make a big difference. This needle is too big for these little holes that I have on here, so it would open my stitches up. But it was really great on this stuff. But if you want your stitches to be smaller than your thumb, or way bigger than your thumb, by the way, then you can needle tension based on your needle. So you make your stitch. Now this is going to be tricky because I just made it really small. Take it off your thumb, but before you pull it through, tighten it to the needle. And if you have a small needle like I do, or actually Anne will also use a darning needle size something, almost an embroidery needle. And you can see already there, it's made my stitch a little smaller. This is the previous one. And the last two are much shorter. So that's how she makes them smaller. That's called needle tensioning. Or you don't have to hold them on your thumb at all. Yeah, I put them on my thumb, but I will usually just to do the stitch. So I'll have it on my thumb just long enough to do the stitch, but I'll take it off my thumb and tighten it. And then the next one I catch on my thumb. But yeah, if you work flat, for example, where you're not having it on there, this I hate doing because then I'm not thinking properly. But you would kind of go under, over, under, however it is anyway. And then you can tighten as well and pull through. But I don't, that's what some people will call knitting flat or knitting off the thumb. Yeah, it's called Nalbinding flat. That's what Nella concurs. Anyway, you have the last thumb and rest on come from the back. So if you're really familiar how your things go, for example, you can do it that way too. Okay, we should probably go. Did you find anything else, Karl?
No, there's a lot of sad people on Etsy trying to sell me reproductions.
Karl cannot be bought. Okay, so we'll see you. Thank you for playing with us. This was fun. Oh my god, I even did steaming. I blocked my stuff. So some people say if you do needlebind correctly, you don't have to block. I think needlebind the way you want to, and you can make it look really, really cool just by blocking it. It looks so much better.
6:42.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I got my little top. But if you want this to be blocked, by the way, do it before you turn. Just do a quick steam block there. Then finish your hat and then block the rest. Because if I started to block this one, it would look like one of those ski hats from the 70s with the points. But I want it like that. Okay, see you Saturday. Same time. Bye. Say bye, Karl.
Bye, Karl.
He's in a rabbit hole. Thank you for that. Okay, bye.